All right, so I've been doing this for a while, so I know one thing is please be timely. So as a safeguard, I set a timer on my watch. All right, so when Dr. Hasan asked me to do this, it's weird because for some reason I can never tell him no. My eyes say, please don't make me do this, but my mouth goes, yeah, I'll do it. But this time was a little bit different because I kind of felt the question coming. For me, my brain is always going, my brain is always thinking, and like I was literally cleaning the kitchen like a month before he asked me, and it was like, if you ever get the chance to do a Hawk talk about this. So, y'all ready? All right, so my topic is the power of a poured out life. So I don't reboot in my office and just live in my office and like just come out and be like, yay, excited. There are a lot of facets to my life. My life has been a life of service. Growing up in the church, I've done everything from open the door to clean the toilet. They kept me busy. And that has really extended into my life, from teaching and serving our students here to pastoring my church and now helping oversee an organization of churches. Even writing music, recording music, producing other people's music, writing books. See, the things I wish I could tell you, that's my book, it's nice. But most of all, being a father and husband to my family. And I've always asked myself, what is the common thread? Because everything we do comes from a source. What is that thing? What is that one thing that connects everything together? So in the Old Testament tradition, there's sacrifices, like cows getting killed to the left and the right, and then goats gone. Just like if you find an animal, it's like, ooh, I'm going to offer you as barbecue. But there's one offering that's always caught my attention, and I didn't learn about this offering until I was preparing a message for my church. There's an offering called the wine offering. And that offering was the best wine. Not the Arbor Mist or Barefoot stuff, like the stuff that was been in the back for decades that you have to drop at least, $3,000, $4,000 on? But what they would do is they would take a bottle of that wine and they would dump it out on the altar. And the Apostle Paul says, I've been poured out like an offering. For me, the common thread of my life is that I don't want to leave anything behind. Nothing wasted. And that literally centers everything that I do. My life, my 35 years of life, everything I do, serving, pouring out, giving, supporting people, helping people get to where they need to get to, no matter what facet of life they're in. So I kind of want to extend this conversation now to the concept of water. Water is designed to give life. It's what makes this planet habitable, right? Like, people are like, we're looking for super Earths, and there must be water, okay? Yes, there's more qualities than having water, but water is the core thing. We need water to survive. We are literally walking bags of water. And I have a friend who talks about the concept of overflow. What that means is, like you fill the cup up, but then the source keeps pouring into the cup, and it overflows out. And he always talks about working from a place of overflow. For me, especially being in the education field as long as I have, and doing ministry work, doing all the stuff that I do, I got so used to grinding that I never allowed for there to be a true working from overflow. So now I try to always make sure I'm getting poured into. That could be anything from prayer, meditation, to talking to people. My chat sessions with Miss Hannah, that they really get me energized after. But I allow myself an opportunity, actually multiple opportunities, to be poured into, so that way when I have to step out, when I have to teach Pathways 1, when I have to teach English, or even when I'm answering emails at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because students are having emergencies. It's not from a place of a reserve. I'm not having to pull so much out of myself that I'm a desert or I'm desolate. It's coming from a place of true overflow of the best I can give. And I know for many people that is a very difficult concept. Working, living, serving, loving from a place of overflow, from a place of abundance. Our culture is a culture of scarcity. That we're taught to work to the very last drop. But what if you just said, you know what? Let me make sure that I'm cared for first. Make sure that I'm okay, that I'm getting what I need. So that way I can turn around and give it to other people. Contrary to popular belief, I'm actually an introvert. People, oh no, you just, I'm like, I love people. I don't have to like them, but I love people. But for me, this has to be my life. Because I'm literally in front of people 7 days a week. If I'm not talking to you directly, you probably hear my voice on the radio, you might hear my voice on the podcast. I have to interface with people every day of the week. And it doesn't shut off after I leave here. When I get home, I have 2 little kids who want daddy. And they will do what it takes to get daddy's attention. My son is 4 feet tall. He's literally climbing like a tree. And I'm like, dude, get down. Like, don't do that. So I have to make sure I'm constantly giving from a place of overflow. So here's the big question. What are you pouring? All of us in this space have someone who we're giving something to. We're supervising. We're supporting. I know for me, I'm supervising students. I'm supervising instructors. But I'm also literally in the face of about every single student on this campus. And I think we look at all the mumbo jumbo and the jargon, and the thing that we forget is that we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to ensure that what is around us and what is below us is getting what it needs to be the fullness of what it needs to be. Go back. All right, so let's look at this. This is a bottle of water. It's full. It's probably filtered and distilled, probably the best tasting water in your life. But the thing is, the cap's not off. For many of us, we want to hold on to what we have, to hold on to that energy, that thing that people need so much that we put the cap off, but then we're wondering why everything else is not growing below us, because they need what you got. Nothing can go in and nothing can go out. And I learned something from my church members with bottled water. The expiration date is not the water in the bottle, it's the bottle itself. This is designed to be used. This has a purpose to nourish something, to be poured into something. But here the bottom, sit. I'm just going to be here. I'm just here so I don't get fined. You got something, you have potential sitting up in you. You have nothing, somebody else do it. What good is a closed container? But I'll take that over this. This is where we go deep. Okay, so the cap is off. You're pouring in, you're pouring out, but the water's tainted. And the tainting can come from the source, the vessel, or both. You're pouring out and you're pouring out, but death and destruction are in your wake. My grandfather has taught me it's not a victory when you have a body count. Cass, what do you mean by a body count? The people who have gone up the mountain with you, you're like, yay, we won. Ain't no we, everybody dead behind you. You've won nothing. You're looking around you and nothing is growing. In fact, everything's trying to run from you. This is the moment, because here's the thing because this speech is supposed to be inspiring and uplifting, but sometimes inspiration needs to be introspection. So sometimes you gotta look at yourself and inspire yourself to do what you need to do. So looking at this, it seems like everything you touch falls apart. It seems like your students don't want to deal with you. It's just everybody's just in the room with you. The problem ain't then, it might be you. What are you allowing in? What are you doing to take care of yourself? What are you doing to feed, what's feeding your soul? Or have you been holding on to stuff so much? Because a tainted source might look clear, but it might be bitter. I'm gonna leave that alone. It doesn't nourish anything. You're giving, you're giving, you're giving. If there is no growth, what are you giving? But here's the thing about tainted water, it's fixable. Sometimes, okay, what am I doing? What am I allowing myself to be around? What am I talking about? What am I doing? What am I saying? Do I need to change my mindset on things? Do I need to change my habits or my behaviors on things? Or sometimes reconciliation comes from resignation. I might need to go to another territory. I don't know. Then now let's look at the vessel. What am I carrying? What is the hurt? What is the anger? What is the pain that is fueling everything that I say and do? That in turn, nothing is growing around me. This can be fixed. We have to be willing to do the fixing. There are times where I find myself getting real this. So what I have to do is like let me take a day off for a second. Let me go on and go to Lancaster and get my mind right. What is bothering me? What is frustrating me? What is irking me? And rather than live in it, because I don't want bitterness to take root in any aspect of my life. Rather than live in it, I deal with it so that I can be this. Pure, clear water. What pours in is duplicated and working from overflow. Overflows to everybody below me. Eventually hits the ground. And guess what happens? Things grow. All the things that we have talked about over the past year require this. You cannot intrusively advise without this. You can't have a growth mindset if you don't have anything to grow with. We can't do all the things that we need to do because we gotta be this. Especially with our students. I remember I talked about earlier this year about how our students have like clogged pipes that you have to force things through to get their attention. They already have the tainted water. They already have the bitter stuff. There's people who looked at them and said, well, because you don't know how to do school, I ain't going to fool with you. And they have the solution for their help. Hocking needs this. We have to become this. For me, I've told myself this year, I am going to live the motto of this college out and hold everyone else around me to account for it because I want to be this. This is how things grow. So we go back to this. Wine poured out. I want my children and grandchildren, my wife, my students, my church members, anyone who have ever talked about, when I die at 100 years old, my family likes to live long, so there's a chance. When I die at 102, I want everybody to be at my funeral and say, that man gave everything that he had. He left nothing wasted. He left nothing behind. And because he left nothing behind, there is growth. Here's my challenge to you. I'm sorry this is not the happy-go-lucky reminiscent thing, but here's my challenge to you, because inspiration requires action. What are you pouring? What are you giving out? The winds of change are here. It's not coming, it's here. Things are changing, things are shifting. Where are you? And what do you need to do to get to that pure place? Thank you.